What's up? My name is Johan, and this is the story of how I became a multimedia student. Now, one day in third grade, we watched a movie in class. I think it was a Red Bull movie, but I could be mistaken. Either way, I remember going out to break after the movie, and my friend and I were walking upstairs. At that moment, I knew that I wanted to direct a film one day. This event put me down a path where I learned to appreciate movies, not just for the entertainment that they provide, but for the lessons the viewer can learn, the intricacies of character and plot development. The appreciation also sparked my interest in reading fiction. There were times where I was proud that I could read 2,000 pages of Star Wars in close to a month's time. One of the genres that I fell in love with was animated movies. They truly grow with their audience. As a kid, these movies were entertaining and funny. As a young adult, these movies are still entertaining and funny. But I can now see a clear, mature comment on life the movies were making. This is extremely genius, and I would love to be able to make something as artistic as that one day. In 6th grade, we had this one assembly, and we were told that our vice principal, Mr. Pepper, was going to give the speech that day. He announced that our school, Selborne Primary, was going Google. He made us all excited about the prospect of our school being enriched with technology. We would start working on Chromebooks. We would start coding lessons as an extramural. We would make the school's online presence known. Mr. Pepler inspired me so much during that speech that I jumped at the opportunity to become the best coder the school has ever seen. Mr. Pepler started us off with Code.org and Code Academy. I would spend hours making mini projects, learning how logic blocks work and where to use them. A friend at the time and I would go on to teach my fellow classmates how to code, hence founding the IT club. People would share what they have done, people would bring their drones, robots and code to school to share with their friends in the club. Excited by the prospect of learning to code, I realized that creating a movie from scratch doesn't just require code, but art is also involved. In the time between grade 7 and 10, I taught myself how to use Blender and even went on to teach the students at Selborne Primary the skills that I have learned using Blender. In grade 10, I started my art career. Visual arts was one of my subjects, and it was absolutely challenging. I had no idea how patient and skillful an artist had to be to even create something close to concept art. Visual arts taught me that an artist has to be prepared to work long hours and focus on minute details for what feels like an eternity. At the same time, I had information technology as a subject at school too. In these classes, I would learn the fundamentals of coding, not the block code or baby code that I was used to in primary school, as I would call it. I was a natural at IT. Delphi was like a third language for me. I was so excited about properly learning how to code that I worked on a game idea of mine pretty much through my entire high school career. In the last term of grade 12, I had a playable version of my game ready. It was inspired by series like Bakugan and Pokemon. Creatures that consist of 3 animals combined into one would fight against each other. Players would have 10 seconds to play any ability at their disposal before one of the 2 creatures would inflict damage on the other. I tried my hand at writing during high school too. I would whip up story idea upon story idea, trying to piece together something remotely as cool as blockbuster movies. I was still a kid. None of these ideas would stick. However, I'm still working on 3 of those ideas that have some hope of being complete to this day. My failure at writing was frustrating, so I learned a new way to tell a story without having to create one myself. I learned how to play Dungeons & Dragons, a pen and paper role-playing game. Simply put, it is a game where one person, the Game Master, GM, or Dungeon Master, DM, would tell a story, and the players would tell the DM what they want their characters to do. The DM would then implement this into the story being told, allowing the players to feel immersed in this weird and exciting world. Dungeons and Dragons was a big reason why I'm fixated on immersing people in a world that I want to be able to say, I created that. My dad bought me my first game console in 2012, a Nintendo Wii. My siblings and I would always play Mario Kart Wii together. After a Google search, I realized that one of the playable characters could only be unlocked if you beat all of the high scores in time trial mode. Thus, I started my journey in learning how to beat each track. I looked up racing lines, where to trick and where not to trick, where to boost and where to take shortcuts. This journey sparked a new excitement within me. I fell in love with developing the skill to be good at certain games. To this day, I enjoy playing games like League of Legends because it allows me to express my skill in the game and put my mastery of game mechanics to the test. Now the time came for me to choose a university and course to pursue my dream of creating immersion, creating game mechanics requiring skill, creating a story, creating art. From all of the courses that I looked at, it was either all art or all computer science and math. Sure, all of these courses promised skills that I knew could be useful in the line of work I would like to be in, but it either lacked creativity or it lacked the programming know-how needed to create a game or animated movie. I'm now enrolled in BIS Multimedia, a perfect blend of the skills needed in the game and animation industry. It doesn't feel like work at all. I'm constantly inspired to do my best because I know that in the end, I will be able to inspire others the way that movies, books, and games inspired me.